They believed you'd keep chasing them forever, but they were wrong. How many nights did you stay up wondering if they were thinking about you? Oh, the nights spent replaying every text, every conversation, hoping they'd one day see you the way you saw them. You told yourself it was only a matter of time, right? Maybe one day they'd realize they had something real with you. But that's the thing about love, isn't it? Sometimes you give and give, wait and wait, hoping that eventually they'll get it. You keep chasing, thinking if you just love harder, if you care more, maybe they'll come around. But here's the harsh reality. They never will. Nah, they never saw you the way you saw them. To them, you were just there. A constant they could rely on but never truly appreciated. You were a text to reply to when they were bored, a call to make when they needed comfort, but they were never looking at you the way you looked at them. And it hurts. Damn, it hurts. It hurts to love someone so deeply, only to realize they don't feel the same way or take you for granted. They thought you'd always be there, always the one to chase, to beg for their time, their affection. They were wrong. One day, you woke up. Maybe it was a moment. Maybe it was a slow realization. But you finally saw it. You deserve more. You deserve someone who sees your worth. Someone who doesn't make you feel like you're chasing something that will never be yours. You deserve someone who runs beside you, not someone who makes you chase them in circles. You thought you'd never stop chasing, right? But the truth is, the moment you stopped, everything changed. Oh, the freedom you felt when you let go. The weight lifted from your shoulders when you stopped waiting for their love, their approval. And you know what? They didn't even notice when you stopped chasing. They didn't see you slipping away because to them you were just another part of the background. They thought you'd always be there, always willing to wait, to hope, to give. But not anymore. Not anymore. The moment you stopped running, something shifted inside of you. You found yourself again. You realized you are the one you've been waiting for. The love, the affection, the care you've been giving them. It was always meant for you. You are enough. They thought you'd chase them forever, thought they could treat you like an option and still have you. But here's the thing. You stopped. And in that moment of stopping, you finally started living for yourself. No more waiting for them to change. No more hoping they'd see you because you've seen yourself and that's all that matters. They thought you'd keep chasing. They thought they could keep walking away without a second thought, without facing any consequences. But what they didn't know was that you were never weak for loving them. You were strong for knowing when to walk away. And now, you've found your peace. You'll never be the same after this. You've learned your worth. You've learned that you don't need anyone who doesn't need you. And you've learned the most important lesson of all. The love you've been chasing was always meant to come from you. Now listen, if you've ever been in this situation, you know exactly how painful it is to realize your love isn't being returned. But let me tell you something. You are worth so much more than the chase. If you're ready to stop chasing, if you're ready to start loving yourself the way you deserve, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Let's walk this journey of self-love and healing together. You've got this. It's time to stop chasing and start living for you. Number 1, the heavy weight of unreciprocated effort. You know that feeling, don't you? The one where you've given all of yourself over and over, only to realize the person you've been chasing, the one you've been loving so desperately, has never truly seen you. They've never cared for you the way you cared for them. You feel it deep down in your chest, a crushing weight, a silent heaviness no one else can see, but it's there every single day. Unreciprocated effort isn't just about unnoticed actions. It's about the part of your soul you give to someone who doesn't give it back. Every text, every call, every sacrifice of your time and energy. It starts to feel like a debt that will never be repaid, and it weighs you down. You're running after someone who's walking away, and you're too exhausted to even wonder why you keep doing it. Why do I keep chasing? The question loops in your mind, but it doesn't matter because you don't know how to stop. You tell yourself, if I just love harder, if I try more, they'll notice me. But the pain of constantly running without ever catching up, it wears you down. It makes you question your own worth. Maybe you've convinced yourself for too long that you're the problem, that your love isn't enough. But here's the brutal truth. It was never about you. It was about them. They didn't deserve your love, and the weight you've been carrying wasn't yours to bear. It's time to realize that the real strength doesn't lie in running harder, chasing faster. The real strength lies in letting go. When you stop running, when you stop chasing, you finally set yourself free. You lift that weight off your chest. You are not defined by how much you give, but by how much you're willing to keep for yourself. Number 2, the illusion of attachment. How many times have you caught yourself thinking the more you gave, the more they'd return? With every gesture, every word, you were building a stronger bond, one that would eventually pull them closer. But deep down, you've always known it wasn't real. It was never real. Attachment isn't love, it's fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of being forgotten, unseen. When we attach ourselves to someone who doesn't value us, we become desperate to hold on, to fill the empty spaces in our hearts with something that feels like security. But that security is just a facade. The emotional roller coaster is unbearable. One moment, they make you feel special, like you matter. The next, they pull away and you're left questioning everything. Did I do something wrong? Why aren't they choosing me? But attachment makes you believe that this back and forth is love. You mistake inconsistency for passion, emotional distance for deep connection. You begin to ignore the red flags, telling yourself, maybe next time will be different. And here's the cruel part. You can't see it until it's too late. The more you give, the more you lose yourself. You're no longer loving them. You're clinging to the idea of them. You're afraid of the void they've created inside you. So you keep chasing, hoping that if you love them enough, they'll finally feel the same way. But that's the lie. The truth is, attachment to someone who doesn't reciprocate is just a prison of your own making. It holds you captive in a cycle of longing and disappointment, making you believe your happiness depends on them, when in fact, you're the one who needs to release the chains. When you let go of that false attachment, you realize it wasn't them you were holding on to. It was the empty hope you placed in them. Number 3, the silent goodbye. Have you ever had to walk away from someone who never asked you to leave? A goodbye with no words, no dramatic final scene, just a quiet realization that you've given enough, and it's time to let go. It's the hardest kind of goodbye, the one that isn't shouted from the rooftops, the one that doesn't give you closure or answers, the one that haunts you in the silence. The hardest part isn't the moment you walk away. It's the part that comes before, when you've tried again and again to get them to see you, to make them realize you've been there giving everything, and you're finally exhausted. That moment when you decide enough is enough, when you stop hoping for something they'll never give you. It's in that silence, the moment when you choose yourself over the endless waiting. Psychologically, the silent goodbye is one of the most painful things you can experience. It's like your heart is screaming for them to understand, but your mind knows they never will. They'll never see the tears you've cried in the dark. They'll never realize how much of your soul you gave. And that's okay, because you're done proving your worth to someone who doesn't see it. The Stoic view encourages you to accept this pain, to not run from it, but to sit with it. This too shall pass. They may never understand why you walked away, but that's no longer your burden. You have the strength to say goodbye without a word, and in doing so you reclaim your power.